Welcome back to Binge Warmers. My name is Hopper, the Fantastic Clobberer.
Bro, my name's Steven.
Today we're talking about Fantastic Four, the first steps. Did Fantastic Four first steps live up to the hype that was surrounding it?
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely.
For me, I think it just barely does.
Really?
I enjoyed it a lot, and I think it was a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Not better than Superman, though.
I don't think it was better than Superman, but it's close. And I know me and you are going to differ on this, obviously. But if I were to give, which I did, I gave Superman a 10 out of 10. For me, Fantastic Four is 9.5 out of 10. It's that close.
I was thinking like 8 or 9, maybe an 8. If it didn't have the music, it would probably be
the
like
music
an 8.
carries so much. I don't think, carries is a bad word for me.
Yeah.
It really just is amazing. With Superman 2, it's just amazing the composing on both of these movies.
Fantastic.
But no, Fantastic Four was amazing, guys. If you haven't watched it yet, go watch it. There will be spoilers on here. You know the drill. We do pretty spoiler-heavy reviews.
We can talk non-spoilers for a little while.
Non-spoilers, the acting was great. I still don't agree with some of the acting choices. For me, Pedro Pascal doesn't...
Like the cast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think Pedro Pascal and
Joseph Quinn
visually really fit their roles too much. Joseph Quinn more so than Pedro Pascal because of
the wig he was wearing.
The hair, dude.
I think it might have been
bad.
bad. But...
Great actor, great performance by him. Visually is where I have the issues.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Although Vanessa Kirby and even Moss Baccarat were very good.
Amazing casting choices.
I like a little bit of a deeper, gruffer Ben Grimm. But like this was not a bad portrayal. I think he fit the character really well.
Absolutely. I think it's the best portrayal we've had of Grimm.
Yeah,
and that's Fan Forstick. You can't beat Fan Forstick.
I don't even remember who that guy was.
I don't either. I had no idea.
He was probably the worst part about it. Because his willy was out.
Say that again.
His big rocky willy was hanging out the whole time.
So casting, not my first choice, but all of them performed very well.
I think Pedro Pascal, obviously a good actor. I don't think it needs to be said because he's in everything. Yeah. Everyone always picks him for everything. Yeah. He's kind of the it girl right now. He is Pedro Pascal, though, and I notice him as Pedro Pascal as an actor.
Yeah.
This is sort of a problem you have with, like, Chris Pratt or,
Zendaya.
Yeah, Zendaya, Tom Holland.
To say it. I really enjoy Zendaya, but...
Even, like, Timothée Chalamet, to a degree. I'm like, I know this person enough as an actor to where I'm like... I can't really separate them. I don't think it was bad. And, like, there was not really a lot of uses of the powers. I mean, there was.
That's the one thing I did have a beef with specifically Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah.
We saw him stretching to write on the chalkboard. We see him, like, jumping and doing some things. But, again, though, how do you do it? Because he was never like Plastic Man, where he was more creative with his stretchiness.
I don't know. I think you could probably find a lot of examples of him, like, using his head to, like, go to a place and like stretch it, or using his arms to do whatever.
I really wanted the one when he's like thinking hard, and he's just like a pile of of goo on the floor
because he has to concentrate to keep up his human form.
Yeah,
because if he's thinking too much or he's like not concentrating on being a human, he just falls into goo.
Yeah,
a lot of times when he's asleep, he'll just make
But he also says it helps heighten because he doesn't have to put his brain power there. Yeah. It's like the most brain blasty time that he is when he's just a pile of goo on the floor.
The special effects for that were not great. We talked about
probably the worst of the movie was his stretchiness.
Yes,
when it came to special effects.
And I think a big part of it, they do like this CGI model of him when he's sort of like Spider-Man's around for a lot of it, like swinging off buildings and stuff.
Yeah,
when he really could just be stretching his body that far.
Yeah, he doesn't have to jump. That's another thing. We see a part where he's fighting Galactus, and Galactus is like pulling him.
Yeah,
and it doesn't look like he has to pull very much for him to be at his limit. And I'm like, come on, bro.
You can stretch
a little more than that. Come on, let's be reasonable here.
So I don't know. I guess I wanted a little more of that. But like that special effect, like whenever he's a fully CG man, his face is just... And it's a CGI model, so that it can't do any face acting. But like they showed it too much, and it didn't look good enough for them to, excuse it to be on screen all the time.
Right.
I can probably find some footage I'll throw in here or whatever. Another thing... The Thing.
I really enjoyed him. I know he wasn't your full cup of tea, but he was more than
I liked him. He was my favorite of the Fantastic Four.
Really?
He usually is, yeah.
Honestly, Johnny Storm was mine.
Interesting.
Even though I don't like the actor himself for it, I think he did amazing in the position with what he had.
I thought
the special effects and stuff for him were really good.
Yeah, he looked all right. Ben Grimm, though, looked a little
sometimes.
Wonky.
I like the beard on him, though.
Yeah, it looked good.
Yeah.
I
liked how strong he was, too. We didn't really see that in the OG Fantastic Four from the early 2000s. He's struggling to lift a fire truck.
He's trading blows with the Hulk. Like he's one of the most strong characters in the Marvel universe.
He picked up that crane and was about to launch it at Galactus.
And then Galactus yanked him into space, dude.
I know, bro.
Sorry for spoilers. But
yeah, that was, I guess, a little spoilery.
But
no major beats.
He's not in it very much, is my thing. Like, he's in it like around as like part of the cast, but like you can't really focus on him.
Which you may have to look this up to back or fact check me, but I'm pretty sure I've seen a few people online talk about when they cut parts of the movie, a lot of it was Ben Grimm's,
I think you're right,
like, story himself.
Some of the stuff we see from social media and like all the clips they used to promote it is not in the final film. There's a part
and
where
a lot of it's Ben Grimm.
Yeah. There's a part where he's like petting a dog, and I was waiting for that. I think it's kind of after he pulls the ship up off the whatever.
Yeah.
That made it in as like a credit bit, like they used it in part of the credits. Like they had kind of a montage of videos and stuff in the credits. But like that, and also Johnny never said "flame on." He said it in the trailer, but he never said it in the movie, did he?
No, we got the little bit when he has like a toy from the cereal box. He gets it, and I think that was for them to, because the movie wasn't as grounded as like say Thunderbolts, but it was a more serious take on a superhero film than we've had for a while.
It was a separate universe, so they can kind of go in their own direction for this just one team.
Yeah, one of the praises I'll say too, I brought it up when we were talking about it afterwards. Now that it's aged more, we look back on The Dark Knight, and it's a great movie, great, phenomenal movie. It's, to me, not a good Batman movie, especially when we see Matt Reeves, the Batman, right? And I think this is what that Batman movie could have been, because we get like this interstellar type space scenes in this movie, and then we get this grounded like family of superheroes that kind of created almost a utopia on Earth kind of thing, but they're still superheroes, you know what I mean? So you get this deeper, more drama, like suspense movie, like with The Dark Knight, but you still get a lot more of the superhero-y campiness of it as well. Yeah,
they did spoil in the trailers that Galactus wanted Franklin Richards. So that's sort of the plot. Like they're trying to kind of figure out what they should do with the baby or what they should whatever. Famously, I guess Franklin Richards is like one of the most powerful MCU characters, just God in a baby.
Omega level, I think is what they're called.
Right, yeah, just like that. One of the most powerful mutants in the universe. So it was kind of interesting on that take. I don't know. I kind of, the baby looked kind of rough too in parts.
Oh, yeah. You said it. You nailed it right on the head when you were like, it gave me Twilight vibes.
Yeah, and I hope
they don't have the model like the Twilight model was, because that was terrifying. Especially when the actors had to like hold the model and stuff,
Yeah, tough.
Have you seen that model of the baby?
Yes.
It's terrifying.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Say that again.
Say that again.
No, I think we'll probably dive deeper into spoilers.
Yeah.
I would say go see it, obviously. Yeah. I just kind of had a little... it was hyped up so much, and it's supposed to be like, Marvel's back and whatever.
I really do think it is. I haven't felt this hopeful for a Marvel movie in a minute. Like the start of a new Marvel set. And I know we've heard nothing but nightmare after nightmare when it comes to Doomsday.
Yeah.
So we may not be fully back, because what's happening on the Doomsday set sounds like absolute chaos. But after getting Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four this year, I think it's safe to say that Kevin Feige's back completely at the helm, looking at everything before it goes out.
TV side's still kind of not there.
The TV side, we're going to get there after this year. This year's the last bit of stuff that was made where Kevin Feige wasn't giving his stamp on everything.
I think it's just Wonder Man in like December or something.
Yeah, I think
or later
so.
This year could be okay. We'll see.
Well, anything could be good.
But
yeah, like Hopper said, the musical composition was good. The acting was phenomenal. The stakes, I felt like I was stressed almost the entire movie in a good way, but I felt like just so high strung from the stakes of the movie.
So maybe it's just because they did that 10-hour live stream where they announced everyone's names. We know the Fantastic Four is coming into, and I guess spoilers from this point on.
Yeah,
we know the Fantastic Four is coming into Doomsday, and we know from the end of Thunderbolts are coming in. There's a couple of points where I'm like, one of the team is gonna sacrifice themselves, like Johnny Storm does it at one point, and then Vanessa Kirby's Sue Storm is gonna act like she uses up all of her energy at one point, and she acts like she's gonna die, and I'm thinking like, she's not gonna die. We know she's in the next movie.
Well, honestly, I was of a different mind, because I thought in that scene Vanessa Kirby was going to die, and I thought that maybe they come to our Earth because Reed Richards has gone crazy and he's looking for his wife in another world kind of thing. And I was like, that could be cool. It's just me thinking in the moment like, oh, she looks like she's actually going to die here. Maybe that's what happens later kind of thing. So I guess you could see it either way in that kind of way. But yeah, it is unfortunate when you have the whole Marvel machine. I like that James Gunn is kind of keeping the overarching stuff kind of behind a curtain right now that we're not going to see for quite some. I don't think we're seeing anything of that scale at least till the end of next year before we start seeing.
I think Peacemaker will get kind of the vibe of where it might be going, but he said like what he's really like excited for. He's keeping under wraps because it's really easy to steal.
I'm going to call it too. I think the Authority's canceled.
I
don't think they're going the Authority because that was what I think he was planning on doing. Was it was all culminating to, but he came out recently with tweets of like, oh, we had 4 drafts of this thing. We had a great director nailed to it. We just couldn't make it work, so we've dropped it. And
he didn't say it was the Authority, but I think we're all kind of thinking
we're all thinking it's the Authority.
Yeah.
And I thought that. I was like, maybe it's the Authority. I was like, surely not. And then I was reading the comments, and everyone was saying the same thing. And I was like, okay, yeah, it's probably that.
It's because it's like the projects we've heard about, like Supergirl's getting filmed, and or
he won't shut up talking about any of it. You know what I mean? We haven't heard anything about Authority for a while.
Even like Wonder Woman.
Batman the Brave and the Bold. He has no idea what he's even doing with it, and he's hyping that up.
Yeah.
We're not hearing any since the announcement of the Authority. We haven't heard anything on it.
So it'll just be interesting to see. But back to this movie, it starts with Sue Storm kind of having a pregnancy test. We had like an Amber Alert go off in our theater.
Dude, it was crazy the timing. Everyone's phones was going. Some people have like the speech to text the text to speech, which was annoying. But yeah, she was about to announce it, and then everything's like a sirens. I'm like, oh, what's happening in the movie? And I'm like, oh shit, that's our phones.
Some old gentleman behind us was like, I thought that was part of the movie.
Dude, he said it so loudly. It's like, okay, buddy, we all think the same thing. Just watch the movie now.
Oh man, really funny way to start the movie.
Yeah.
So it starts with kind of a compilation of like stuff that they've done because it's been 3 or 4 years since they've started the Fantastic Four and they've gotten their powers. We kind of get like a TV interview recap. It's like ABC.
I love how they did that.
That was cool. Yeah,
so good. So that we didn't have to have the origin story again. We just had someone talking about it.
I think Fantastic Four is well known enough to where you don't need that.
I mean, the early 2000s were a cult classic. You know what I mean? Anyone who's like, oh, I remember, it's so fun, it's so cheesy. You know?
2015 did the same thing. I think because they've been around since like the 40s or the 60s.
They were one of the first superhero teams.
They're the first. Sure. They're the first Marvel team of like the Marvel universe. Like there was Captain America and Namor and like the Human Torch android. You know about that?
Mm-mm.
There was a Human Torch like android, but when Stan Lee and Jack Kirby were doing the Fantastic Four, they're like, let's bring in the Human Torch, but we'll make him a teenager man, like a boy, you know. So there was stuff before that, but like this was the start of like the Marvel universe, really.
Right.
I mean, Captain America was there, but like there wasn't like a universe around him. If anything, Captain America was in real life, like fighting Hitler and stuff like that. So
that's the thing too, is like when they do that homage to Jack Kirby at the end. My girlfriend goes, "Who's that?" And I was like, clearly one of the fathers of comic books. You know, he's just like he's up there with Stan Lee, and some would say bigger. You know what I mean?
Because he worked on DC and Marvel. Yeah. He's a artist. He drew a lot of it.
Phenomenal. Stuff. I mean, you can't give enough praise to Jack Kirby.
Yep,
but,
for sure.
Yeah, when she said that, I was like, bro, have I taught you nothing? You know.
But we saw in this montage, we saw the Mole Man and some of the monsters from the Subterranea. And, the red ghost chimpanzee, or it was a orangutan maybe. So I think there was supposed to be what's his face was red ghost, and he was going to have the apes and all that, and I think they cut that from the end of the movie, from the end product. But you know, I don't think it necessarily needed. It would have been cool to see that.
Yeah, kind of have like a nice. Without it.
Yeah, but I think it probably would have started the movie like they're fighting the red ghost.
Got you. Yeah.
Here's how we introduce. You know.
I think this was a better introduction to him for sure.
I don't know better, but you know.
You have an unhealthy obsession with monkeys.
Yeah, I like apes. I do enjoy them.
Yeah. The beginning was really good. I think all the way to again the ending, just really, really solid stuff. The ending's not bad, but I think it kind of lowers a little bit.
I wouldn't say it dragged in the beginning. It was just kind of like it was sort of choppy in the beginning, and I think you can kind of tell that they probably didn't like script it that way.
Like the beginning wasn't in their mind what was going to be the beginning.
If I have to be honest with you, I think it's they didn't have time to finish CGI stuff.
Yeah.
That's my opinion on it. So
that's what I was saying. Like it was a little under 2 hours, but I think the first time we heard anything, the runtime was supposed to be like 2.5 hours or something.
I think so, around that time. Yeah.
And they were just like, "No, we'll take some stuff off."
Yeah. So I don't mind them doing that. It makes a better product, I guess. But it does kind of cut out some of the good character moments of like probably Ben Grimm and even like Johnny Storm. I'm sure he said "flame on" in the very beginning or whatever.
Which just can't be fun. We do get clobbering time at one point, so you would expect to have gotten flame on at least once as well, just for the sheer fun of it, spectacle of it.
He has like you said, he has the toys, so I guess they do say it. But
I love the robot in this movie,
Herbie.
Yeah, I love when they give us little robot companions.
Yeah, this is a pretty good one. Herbie's pretty likable.
Yeah, The aesthetic too, we can talk about it. It's very Jetsons like, set in the 60s, but very futuristic 60s. Yeah. They've got flying cars, but they do show us like Jello molds and like you see that, and then like the fridges and the kitchen aesthetics and stuff. It's all screaming like 60s.
All their like screens are like curved tube top or tubes.
And I love because it reminds me of like Fallout. I love that stuff so much.
There's robots, but it's also the 60s. That's a great aesthetic to have. Yeah.
It's such a great aesthetic, and you get like they're in New York. So great setting for that. Love when he goes back to like Brooklyn or the Bronx or wherever he's at. Talking about Ben Grimm.
Yancey Street.
I think it helps to ground him and the team as they're people pleasers, and you see this a lot too. I was talking to my girlfriend about it on the way home. The OG Fantastic Four is this common trope of, oh my God, we have powers. We don't want powers. By the end of it, they're like, oh, we can do some good with powers. I like that they forego that completely. And these guys probably had something like that. We don't have to see it. And then they end up creating a utopia. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like they are in foreign affairs. Like they've disarmed the world. Sue Storm is running the Future Foundation with the politics and stuff. Mr. Fantastic has probably created half of the technology that we see in the movie. And then the mascots of Ben Grimm and Human Torch selling
Ben's like
and stuff.
The pilot. Like anytime they have to fly somewhere, he's always behind the wheel of the car.
Which you have Johnny too in the spaceship too.
That's true.
It's Johnny really shines in this one because again in the previous ones we have Chris Evans. He's a good Johnny Storm. The wisecracking part of him, but you don't really get to see that he is a contributing member of the Fantastic Four, especially in the comics. And I think they did really well with that in this one, to where he still cracked jokes and he was still kind of like didn't take everything too seriously.
Sort of immature almost.
Yes, but he was crucial in the victory because of his relationship with the Silver Surfer.
I think 100% they made the Silver Surfer a girl because they wanted him to have like a kind of like a relationship with a girl, like an alien girl, because that's like a big part of the comics is Johnny Storm wants to bang aliens.
Yeah.
So here's an alien for him to bang.
He
even calls her like a sexy alien at one point.
And that's the thing though too is like we saw that in the second Fantastic Four, but it was opposite. It was Sue with the male Silver Surfer, and that's one of the best ways you can appeal, to them.
I think in the original comics, it's Alicia Masters, Ben Grimm's love interest. In this,
she becomes the Silver Surfer?
No. She is the one who kind of like tells him to have pity and to kind of.
Got you.
And so he's like an alien who's lost all his memory, which I think she lost her memory. They didn't say as many words, but I think she kind of regained her memories when Johnny was playing those messages.
Maybe she like pushed it down. I don't think she maybe lost the memories, but she was definitely running from the memories.
She knew how to speak her language. She knew like a certain prayer that was like die with your own people or whatever. But she didn't. I feel like there was something. I don't know. They could have maybe said like I had lost my memory and now you've helped me regain it. They didn't go into that. I don't want them
to say that.
Well, in so many words. Don't make it that obvious. But like the way they did it, it kind of like zoomed into her eyes and she kind of had the flashbacks and stuff. And I feel like she was sort of like
that shot too of seeing Galactus' ship like in orbit. We see it in Earth later too, but you see it on her planet. Yeah, it's crazy, dude.
I liked her in this. I thought she was pretty good. The way that they made her like surf through all the stuff,
dude. It was so fun when we saw her like fighting or flying or anything. It was such fun cinematography, in my opinion.
I just don't understand her powers. That's kind of a problem I have with the second Fantastic Four and the early ones.
Which we kind of I think that's more so that they can just because he's a herald and he's gifted powers by Galactus, and we know Galactus is essentially a god. So I think the Silver Surfer just generally, unless I'm getting the comics wrong, just has the powers that he needs for whichever planet he has to go conquer, kind of thing.
I mean, I would be fine with just like them saying like, oh, like Reed analyzed the sample or they checked whatever, and be like, okay, she can do this, or this, and that way we have some frame. Because
then it takes some of the mystery out of her. I like the mystery we have of her.
Yeah, but it's vague now and it's not defined. It's just sort of like whatever.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Maybe could have just had one extra dialogue scene of her saying, "Here's what I can do," and here's how you helped me. And
I disagree.
I just think it was underbaked, I guess, then. I think your stuff was underbaked.
It's weird because you're usually the one that's like, no, I like to dig into it and look into things myself.
I am digging into it, and you're saying it's not that.
No, you're not. You're saying you want them to tell you what power she has, and I'm like, I'm saying I'm okay with not knowing. Because then you can just theorize whatever she needs in that moment.
I'd like the power set to be specific. That way we know the threat we're facing. There's a part where Ben punches her, and I'm thinking like, well, she was going through stuff earlier.
Yeah.
So how does that make... Is she touchable or not touchable?
Yeah, we do have that problem with the original Fantastic Four.
Yeah, in his, like, you could, like, separate the board, and he would be different, but, like... Yeah. You could be like he loses his powers once you take the board away, but like...
Also, how did they have the technology to remove the board back then? You know what I mean? Because at least this Reed Richards, he goes... I don't know what's going on. I have no frame of reference. Because he even says, I've scanned them for everything, but if I don't know what to scan for, then of course I'm not going to catch it on any of my readings, It
was sort of fun. They get to Galactus' ship.
Such a cool setting.
I guess in the plot, like, she comes down, she tells him you're gonna die, goodbye, and then leaves.
Have you seen the reels with that?
I herald your end.
I herald his begin, and there's people like doing poses like I herald Galactus.
Yeah, it's kind of just how they shot that, or how they presented that teaser. But like, she didn't. I mean, she says it quicker than that in the movie. But
she does. I like the lines though.
It's just iconic. Like her voice is very.
Her voice
iconic,
is so good, dude. I really like. And again, I was one of those guys. I was like, oh, not because she was a woman, but it wasn't the Silver Surfer I knew. You know what I mean? I was like, I want that guy. Give me that guy. And they're like, no, we're going to give you this girl. I was like, I don't want her. Get her out of here. I want the guy. But she did do a really good job. Yeah. I mean, it was a phenomenal performance by her as well.
I think there's sort of some precedent in the comics of maybe like an alternate universe.
Yeah, she does exist in the comics. And it makes sense, too, since we're not on 626.
Yeah, for sure.
So it makes sense. But when I heard it, I don't like that. Not because I'm a woman hater, but because I wanted the guy.
Yeah.
I hope we get more. This is what I'm scared of, too, when it comes to the Marvel machine. And we've struggled with this, especially with the Spider-Man franchise. Mm-hmm. We get a movie that sets up really good stuff, and I want to see another one in maybe a year or two, but we won't get another... if we get a Fantastic Four movie, it won't be for probably another 6 years.
The Doomsday movie might just be a Fantastic Four movie with extra steps.
I think so. I think that's the way they're going to do like a Batman v Superman type thing. With
probably so.
It's tough, man. It really is. And that's why I really like James Gunn's approach where he's like, no, we're doing the movies first, and all of that will wrap into a universe type thing, But we'll just have to see with it.
What about Galactus? I liked him a lot. I think he was my favorite part
really
of it just
enjoyed
because
him.
of how big he was in scale. He almost felt like a Godzilla, running around. He wasn't like trying to knock over buildings. He was kind of using them as like props at some points and stuff. But he wasn't really trying to knock them over because that was not his point. Like you could tell he was very singular in purpose. Even like the things he said and the way he was saying them was very much like, I have one thing that I want and I will say them. I don't ask. I don't make suggestions. I want that baby. Give me that baby.
Yeah, he goes, I want to die so that this baby can take my job. I'm sick of this. I'm done. I'm always hungry. I'm never satisfied. I've been doing this since the beginning of time. I wish, if you want to dig into anything, I wish we got more from him when it comes to his powers, why he is what he is. Because in the comics, Galactus just is, right? He's a celestial being. He's not bad nor good. He eats planets to survive. That's Galactus. You know what I mean? And we kind of get that here. And I wish if they were going to do anything, they just kept that. But then they start saying, he's like, I'm punished. This is my problem, my weight to bear. I used to be like you. And I'm like, don't say that kind of stuff because now I want to know why you're saying these things,
I think I was thinking that too because we've gotten, maybe not in as grand of a fashion because the Cloud we got in 2007 was not good. But we've gotten that story before of like, okay, he's coming to Earth to eat and Silver Surfer's here and he's going to help us out and whatever, betray the guy. But like we haven't gotten like a good portrayal of just like a baseline Fantastic Four. So like this movie is like into the world Doomsday stuff, but it's like we haven't gotten to know these characters enough before this whole big situation.
Yeah. I do think they did really well with the family dynamic of it all, though.
Absolutely.
I mean, you really feel these guys' connections to each other, and each of them, their roles and stuff, and that family dynamic is just so strong that to lose one of them, the entire thing falls apart. You know what I mean? Like, there's not a single weak link in the four.
That happens in the comics a lot. Is like, various members will leave.
Like codependency, but you're not ready for that conversation.
One of the members will leave and go do something, and then they'll replace him with a She-Hulk or a Ant-Man or whatever. And then it's going to be like eventually, like they all come back together, and then like someone else has a problem, and the whole group breaks up. And then the coolest like separate version of the Fantastic Four was Grey Hulk, Spider-Man, Ghost Rider, and Wolverine.
Yeah.
Now tell me that's not a Fantastic Four.
That sounds sick.
Dude, I was like looking through stuff the other day. I was just kind of like reading through Wikipedia pages and stuff. And I'm like, I'm not reading this right because that's the four coolest characters in Marvel. Dude.
Yeah, like they body everybody.
Absolutely. Anyway, Galactus was cool. But like you're right about the powers too. Like there's times where he's like just kind of waving his hand and stuff's happening. And there's times where he needs to like physically grab it and stuff.
Yeah, like he's floating people, which he floated the Silver Surfer, and I think, okay, that makes sense. He gave her the power. He's just controlling that power. But then he does it with certain things in the real world, and I'm like, okay, so what is this?
Yeah.
Godlike being, but what does that entail? What does that mean? You're godlike, but then you're suffering in the fact that like you have to constantly be fed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like gods don't have those limitations. You know what I mean?
He felt a little more tactile, I guess, and I'm kind of glad of that. Like
I like the suit too.
The suit looks cool.
Yeah.
I don't think it ever looked real. I think it always looked like an effect, but apparently Ralph Ineson like walked around in the suit.
Also Ralph Ineson as
Galactus is great casting.
Phenomenal casting.
I will say his voice didn't sound as like deep and horrible as I wanted it to, though. You know?
Yeah.
Did you feel that?
It could have been more. I'm impressed with him, but there could have been just a little bit more to him. You know?
Or I think they might have just like softened it in the edit. Like if you just like left his voice as it was.
He does have a very deep voice.
Incredible voice. Yeah.
I remember in Nosferatu, I was just like, I could listen to this man do like every audiobook in the world.
Yeah, he's great. He, I think I first saw him on like the IT Crowd, which is like a comedy show, and then I saw him in The Witch, and I'm like, oh yeah, this totally works.
Yeah,
he was wasted as like a salesman or whatever he was in that show.
He wasn't living up to his potential.
Absolutely not.
But yeah, great villain. I'm excited to see we get. If you guys are interested, after credit spoiler, we do get Doctor Doom shows up at the Fantastic Four Tower, and he's like talking to Franklin, who's like 3 or 4 at this time.
Yep. He takes his mask off so Franklin can see his face.
Which we heard from Kevin Feige that he won't be disfigured, and it's like, what's the point of the mask? That's the whole point of the mask. I don't know if it's going to be RDJ. Do you think RDJ's from this world?
I do, and then I think... Actually, I don't know, man, because...
Oh, also, sidebar. Sue Storm's nose did not bleed a single time.
Yeah.
We have peaked as a society.
She did use her powers so much that she dies, though.
True. Which, I mean, if you're pushing him, pushing Galactus.
I was thinking, like, she's really strong. And then our buddy, he was watching with us, and he said that maybe it's like, a feat of strength because Mama Bear situation. Like,
that's what I was thinking, too.
Yeah.
It's like the adrenaline rush. And that's the thing, too, is you can push your body past the limits, but the reason why you can't do that normally is because it will kill you, And I think that's what she was doing, where she saw her son, and she was like, I have to save him. And she pushed past what her body could physically handle, and then just it killed her, kind of thing.
I was kind of hoping for like an Annihilus or a Negative Zone reference or something, because Franklin Richards in the comics, I think it's either Franklin or Valeria, one of their kids, like they're pregnant and they need like antimatter because of their cosmic radiation to like stabilize the pregnancy. And so they have to go to the Negative Zone and get some of the antimatter, and that's where you see Annihilus and all that.
Yeah.
Would have been cool to get a mention or a nod.
I want Annihilus so bad. And that's the thing, too. Dude, one thing I have to praise with this movie is, and don't get me wrong, I love James Gunn's space that we've gotten. And then Taika Waititi kind of commandeered it as well for Thor Ragnarok. I love the colors. I love the space and how it's all easy and it's populated.
Yeah.
But man, dude, when you get something that's more closer to like Interstellar in my mind, when it comes to the space in this one, where it's a dead zone. You're going light years away before you find something else. We see a dying star that's just a black hole at one point. It puts that scale and scope right there in front of you, and you just realize how big the world is and how small like these people are.
Yeah.
It was done so well, in my opinion.
I liked all the space stuff, yeah. I thought that was pretty well done.
There's like a fight while they're going in faster than light travel, dude. And it made
also giving birth.
But they're like shooting. Johnny's shooting her, but they're in a black hole, and he's like, the black hole is distorting the laser. Yeah. And I'm like, that's such a crazy attention to detail. Most people would just shoot the laser and hit her, and then you realize, no, it would bend like that. That's
because it's
crazy.
It's a light beam, and they're going faster than light.
Yeah, so it's so good, dude. It was so good.
Pretty cool. I really didn't have many complaints. I think the CGI was tough. Like that last fight scene with Galactus, I noticed a lot.
I wonder when we get to where CGI isn't noticed, or is it just because we're human that we can notice when it's not like an uncanny valley type thing?
I think it's a bit of both. Like if you have a long enough time for your special effects artist to work on stuff, I think you don't notice it as much. Like in Superman, I think it was better. Did you feel that same way?
Yeah, they've explained why his face looks like that when they do the close-ups. It's on purpose to do a scope thing. I still don't like it.
It's like the camera distorts in a real way.
Yeah,
but it's done in a way because like it works for like planes and jets because they are going fast and that's how the cameras work. But when it's a human face, you do notice it.
You do notice it, and it makes sense the way they've described it. But it's like the way it makes sense when Ezra Miller talks about why he runs like that.
God, yeah. And
it's based off of like monks and figure skaters and how they move and stuff. And I'm like, it's stupid though.
If it's not cool looking, don't do it.
Yeah,
essentially.
So that's where I kind of feel the when people hate on the way James Gunn does that, because he did it with Adam Warlock too. But other than that, I think Superman overall had better CG, but I think it wasn't as taxing.
I think all the shots were planned out, and I don't know about this. There was a couple of times where they were just like sitting, and like the baby looked like it was a PS2 head.
Yeah, the baby was probably the worst part of that movie.
Can we not get at least just a stand-in baby? Because sometimes there was a real baby, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Surely.
Sure, it had to be. Well, I don't know. When they showed the hand, I was like, that's fake as fuck.
Yeah,
dude.
true. It can't have been a CGI baby the whole time, though, right?
I don't know.
It looked all right sometimes, and other times I'm like, this is the PS2 baby.
Yeah, we've touched on it too, but I really want to delve into like the emotion that these characters can portray. There's a part where they realize they have to use Franklin as bait, And, Reed's fighting it, and he'd already gotten an argument about it with Sue about how he kind of goes to, like, the more practical things, so he wasn't even going to say it. And then she brings it up, and then you've got Ben and Johnny, like, arguing, like, no, we can't do that, we can't do that. And you can see Sue's kind of like, we have to, but she's, like, backing up, and he's like, Sue, and she's like, no, no. And then she screams, and then she disappears. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you just feel that emotion, you know what I mean? And they're so good at making you feel how they feel in this movie, regardless if it's Ben or Johnny.
It's good acting, I think directed really well, too. Matt Shackman?
He's had his hand in pretty much every cookie jar. I was looking at his like IMDb stuff. He's most notably,
WandaVision.
Yeah, and Always Sunny. He's got 48 episodes of Always Sunny.
Yep.
He's got 2 episodes in Monarch.
Okay.
He's got a couple episodes, and he's got 2 episodes in Game of Thrones. He's all over the place on shows, but like I kind of want to go and find the ones that he's directed and just look at it and see if it's like the same quality. Because really, when I walked out of this movie, I was like, dude, it's all about who you pick for these movies, and it's about letting them give their visions, Yeah,
even we can go talk about the 2015 Josh Trank movie. Like his vision was like dark, scary, gritty. Yeah, body horror.
And why not let us look at that,
Yeah, it's because they wanted to make like Avengers level money, but like this was not an Avengers appeal. Like this was a gross, scary thing. Yeah, that would have probably been a pretty good product if he'd let him done what he did.
And then instead they wasted a bunch of money on reshoots, and then the movie bombed. Yep. So you spent more money trying to make more, and then you lost it.
Did you know that was apparently going to be Galactus 2?
Really?
It was going to be Doom and everybody go to that planet. By the way, I'm glad Doom wasn't in the origin. He never was. Yeah. He's just friends with Reed from school. Yeah. So I'm glad that wasn't a thing. Both movies have done that, by the way.
Yes.
Both series of movies.
Yeah.
But it was going to be like Doom gets stuck there, and then Galactus is there, and he's trying to use Doom to like get him to open up a portal back to that world so he can like eat that world and turn it into what that kind of world was.
Honestly, let it happen. Like,
that would have been better.
I wish that we... And I hate being like, let's see the original cut of every movie now. But I'm like, guys, can you just you hired them to do a job. Yep. Please let them do their job.
And it's like they just needed a movie so they could keep the rights to the thing.
Which
but
is
if you're not
so lazy, dude.
If you're not making the movies and you're just making it so you can keep the rights to it, why do it?
Yeah, because then you're investing money and then losing that money. When if you just give the rights away, you now have the same amount of money as before.
Or make a cool, interesting movie where they're like it hurts to be the thing because your body is covered in rocks and it's like scraping every time you walk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a body horror would have been sick, especially for the thing. Or like Johnny can't use his fire because it's hurting him to use the fire, like Dobby from
I know, My Hero.
Yeah.
I immediately got an
as
image
soon
of
as
Harry
I said
Potter.
Dobby, I said, "Say My Hero fast," say My Hero, but then the words were escaping me. But like that would have been cool.
Absolutely. So I guess about this movie too, like the whole plot is that they're going to try to move the Earth to a different galaxy.
Push it somewhere else. I'm with this, but I'm also like, you can't vet that galaxy. You put them in front of a black hole,
Some way other big bad is going to be in that galaxy or something,
You just turn around and you see like, there's another big bad. You see Kang.
Yeah,
you know
Kang's there.
Yeah, it's just, it was interesting.
Fing Fang Foom is there.
They did say Space Dragon.
I know, yeah.
And I was like, Fing Fang Foom?
Yeah. They did a lot of references to certain villains. They said like the Mole Man was here.
Mm-hmm. We used to see him too. He's like, butter me up.
Yeah. They need all the people in New York to like go underground and subterraneous so they can like have the full playground of New York to mess with Galactus. And he's like, I want to hear Reed Richards say it.
Yeah, I want to. And he goes, just because you dress yourself doesn't mean it doesn't look like shit. I love it too because it gave me such incredible vibes because of the time setting, and the Underminer is a ripoff of the Mole Man guy.
For sure, yeah.
That whole bit in the beginning when they're doing the montage, I'm just thinking, I am the Underminer.
A great choice for that guy, Paul something Hauser, whatever his name was. Richard Jewell is how I know him. That's the first movie I saw him in was Richard Jewell.
Yeah, I liked him. I liked that he was just like, no, that's just gonna kill the up top, and he goes, no, we've seen it. He comes from he actually comes from the inside out, so it's
idiot,
you're dude.
I would have liked to seen him as like a main villain in like a prequel kind of movie where he's got all the big monsters.
It begs the question, right? Does he have to eat inhabited worlds?
I don't think so. In the
because
comics,
she picks it. She could easily pick planets that aren't inhabited.
Well, see, that's where you get the good, like, that's where the writing convention of I don't know, my memory has been blanked.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, well, I don't care because I don't know who I am or what I'm just here to serve Galactus.
It could even be like if you're wanting to go the mind blanked, she's getting impressions from Galactus, who's probably jealous of regular people that aren't slaves to their nature kind of thing. So maybe she's seeking out inhabited worlds as like almost like a subconscious thing of like, his anger towards other beings that aren't punished. If you want to get deep in,
it could be that she's like picking like sentient species because she wants them to figure out a way to stop him, like subconsciously.
Like subconsciously. Yeah, there's a lot of things you could dig in with that. You can tell Hopper's heart isn't as in it as this one because in Superman I couldn't get him to shut up.
Yeah, I like this one. I don't know. Maybe I just feel like James Gunn had the full like scope of what he wanted. Yeah. It got all in there, but with this it felt like maybe there was some left on the cutting room floor, and like my favorite character, obviously the Thing, didn't get as much of him as I would like.
Yeah.
Johnny Storm he was just decrypting a message the whole movie. Like
I liked that though. I really did.
It was nice. But like if you asked Reed to do it, it would have been done in like 10 seconds,
True.
It was him just being like, I want to impress this girl. I got to study her language.
Yeah, I'm going to learn her language, dude. We're going on a first date.
And it was cool that he did everything. Every choice made sense, and it all led into the next one. I really like this movie.
They really cleaned up the Silver Surfer, too, because the first trailer they showed, I was like, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's some rough CG right there.
That's rough, buddy.
That's real rough. She was fine.
She was pretty good looking. I like that.
The chrome did it for me.
The effect of her like being covered in chrome was pretty cool.
Yes, it was so sick. But, yeah, I think that's all I have to say on it. What are your guys' thoughts, comments on it? If you haven't watched it, go watch it for sure. Definitely worth a watch at the movie theaters. Did
it meet the hype? Like that's what I want to know.
Yeah. This is the thing too. I get so frustrated with my buddy Zombie on Xbox because he's one of the ones that's written off like superhero movies, as being bad forever. And it's the problem of like not every movie is bad anymore, and he's like, so is this like old good Marvel? Is this new bad Marvel? And I was like, have you seen any trailers for it? Have you seen any movie in the last 2 years that was actually decent quality? He's like, well, no, I haven't watched any of it. Okay, well, shut up and either go watch the movie or don't bring... It's like bringing up bad stuff from like 3 years ago. You know what I mean?
And if you want to check out our previous video of us like ranking the Marvel projects after Endgame, you can tell like not all of them are bad. There's some really good stuff in there.
And that's the thing. I think when you hear it's bad, because like one of the things he brought up, I can't remember the movie, but I said, did you watch that movie? And he goes, no, I just heard it was bad.
God,
go watch the freaking movie,
That
dude.
bugs me more than anything else.
Don't even go to the movie theaters. Just watch it when it comes on stream.
Yeah.
But quit just jumping on a bandwagon of hate if you haven't seen the movie. I hate it so much, dude.
It's movies that get politicized, too. Like, I spoke to several people that talked about the Superman thing.
Yes.
Like, they didn't like it on Fox News, so I don't like it. It's like, why? Watch it.
The fucking movie.
Idiot.
But you then perpetuate this mass calling out of bad superhero movies. And it's like you haven't even watched... Like, the one you're calling bad is like No Way Home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
God.
And they're also lumping in like Marvel and DC stuff.
Yes, dude. It's not all the same. It's completely different.
Completely different. I think we're on the way back. I think, I think with this
I think both companies have lost enough money that they kind of got to get their shit together.
Warner Brothers really flopped some stuff, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think they finally said, you know what? James Gunn, just do it. Please make us some money. Become a member. Thank you to our members, Glenn F., which is Glavin, and Gavin. We appreciate you guys. And if you'd like to, the description's down below to support us that way. If not, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll see you next week.